you. Wow. Today is another beautiful day with a difference. And it started with rain. I don't know where you reside, but right here in Nigeria, Lagos State, we started with rain. And it's a showers of blessing as far as I'm concerned. Like I was telling my children, I said, this is showers of blessing. And I pray this, showers of blessing will come as a refreshing and reloaded opportunity for you and I on every side, irrespective. Okay, it will come to refresh us. It will not come as a destruction. It will not come to disturb us. It will not come to affect us in our health. It will not be a deterrent to anything that has to bring peace of mind to us. So, amazing morning to you right here from Galaxy Television. The program is Family and Values. It's all about you, your family. How well are we keeping up with the family? How well is the value we're inculcating into our children, into the young ones, and even ourselves? Start with us. Because if you're not doing it right, definitely something is going to go wrong. Okay? So, it's all about you, old, young, the younger ones. When I mean the youth, it's more and more particularly about you. We want you to see the better you, the best you, even when your parents have, sway away from the normal values you're supposed to see them do. Maybe a little white light, red light, yellow light, shouting, screaming. We want the best to come out from you because you are the future. You can do better than what your mother and your father could not do, and you can achieve greater things. And so that's why we have Family and Values on your one-stop TV station, Galaxy Television. Today is the 23rd of April. 7 more days to go, and April is bye-bye. But thank God for how far He has helped us, He has kept us. My name is Olori Adejoke Anubi David, and my friends call me Olori AJ. I don't know where you are, I don't know where you're watching us, but please log on to our social media platforms and also activate the notification button because we are live. Joy, how are you this morning? I saw you. Joy is looking radiant this morning. She's actually glowing.
Yeah, the glowing. That call is in the rain, the early morning rain.
Yeah,
because I mean the weather was a bit cold.
Cool.
When the rain decided to come down early hours of this morning,
the showers of blessing.
Oh God, it wasn't funny. When the rain started, I was praying like, Holy Spirit, please, this rain must stop so that I'll make it to the studio, because that once the rain starts, it becomes very difficult for us to come out, especially transportation becomes something else. And so we thank God that the rain stopped. Not stopped, the showers had reduced, so we could actually enter the rain to make it. Good morning to our esteemed viewers. Yes, our wonderful viewers have always made Family and Value very exciting for us. Like I always say, when you see these beautiful ladies in your screen, it's time for Family and Values. And Olori will always say it's a Tuesday with a difference. And today's Tuesday was actually with a difference because the showers came. It came with a heavy breeze, and then boom, we saw the rains come down. And we are grateful to God because the weather is cold and very calm. Yesterday was so sunny, and in fact at the point I was like, God, please now help us. And God answered our prayers and brought down showers. So everywhere is a bit cool. But then there is something that really got my attention while I was coming to work this morning. I saw people literally dumping their refuse into the gutters. Why are we doing this?
What area?
Ayobo, to be precise. Ayobo. It's really bad.
The local government.
I don't know the local government, but at least from my bus stop, in fact, I had inside the tricycle where I was, I had to scold the woman, and the floods were already entering into the roads, and you could see children trying to be careful so that they don't step into the gutters, and you see a full-grown adult throwing your waste into the gutter. I mean, by the time the rain takes it to a certain point, it won't go again, it will block.
And it will come back.
And then you start shouting the government. The little one the government is doing, let's appreciate it and keep it. Because once that one's spoiled, they've done the road. If the road is bad, before you call their attention, it's going to be another thing. So please, as the rains are coming down, keep the drainage safe so that houses will not be flooded. Please, this is a call for everyone living around the drainage area. Please clear your drainage this period. The rain has started, whether you like it or not. It's starting, and it's starting really heavy. And then for our parents, please, the kids, try and keep them warm, get them raincoats, get them things that would, when they are going to school, when the rain starts, you could use something hot around their area, something to keep them warm, the cardigans, and just make sure that the kids, because there's going to be a bit of fluid this period, so we don't have a lot of crises. Welcome to Family and Values. My name still remains Joy Abu.
Okay, our name still remain what you have just said. And we're really ready to go with today, because we'll be discussing something very discussion that is going to open our heart to anything that must have been kind of hindrance, or you don't know which way or how to manage it. And that's why we're here. It's all about you, it's all about me, it's all about Joy, it's all about everyone, even our guests in the house. So don't go anywhere, just sit back, relax, and please stay tuned. We'll be right back after this mini feature. Enjoy. Welcome back. It's the Family and Values, and if you're just tuning in, you have not missed anything. It was just a mini feature for you to understand what we are about to look into, to discuss, to really, shred into pieces. And the topic, as you can see, is habits that can actually improve the lifestyle and the well-being of single parents. Habits that can help to improve, the lifestyle, the well-being of single parents. If you're a single parent out there, whether young or old, whether you're widowed, you're separated, you're divorced, maybe you lost your husband or your wife passed on, this is the best time for you to sit down. Or it's as a result of rape. Look at yourself and raise up your head and look tall above your shoulder, and believe that you can do all things through your maker, God. I don't know whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, that created you. You didn't just drop. Somebody created you. Someone bigger than every other person created you. And so you have a life that will have meaning, and you need to project it from yourself to those children as they grow with you. So we'll be discussing this morning. Myself and Joy from my abortion.
Yes.
We'll be discussing with our darling Zika. Zika is the communications manager of Inspire Marketing and Branding International. And so we'll be discussing this topic with her this morning. It's so good to have you.
Looking all pretty, seated all cool and calm.
It's so good to have you, Zika.
Since you walked into the studio, I've been thinking of what I will take from you.
Unfortunately,
I
you are
like taking
not
things from my guests. Maybe it's the earrings. I love accessories.
Oh, thank you.
So maybe it's the earrings.
And even when Joyce, Johnson, saw her, I said, wow, you have angel in the house.
Are you minding? Johnson is a ladies. Johnson loves ladies a lot. He's always admiring our guests. So maybe it's the earrings I'll take from our guest before she goes. Welcome to the show.
Thank
Good
you
morning.
very
Good
much.
to have you.
So good to have you. Okay, so habit that can improve single parents' life, their well-being, their state of mind, their health, and everything. And it transcends onto those children as they grow with them. So it makes them to become great people in life. Now, to you and to our viewers out there, we all have different meanings to different things. So what is an habit? And as we talk about habit, can habit, be something that, is it a bad thing to actually exhibit your habit? Is it bad to exhibit it? So you have 2 in 1.
I will answer the first question. What is a habit? Habit is something that you do subconsciously or consciously, that you do repetitively all the time. It could be good, it could be bad. So it could be, for bad, it could be screen time, watching too much social media, or gambling, if that's a habit, a bad habit for those who have that problem. And the good sides of a habit will be maybe exercising, maybe healthy lifestyle, eating, good finances, all of that comes under good habits. So do you need to exhibit your habits? Yes. let's narrow it down to single parents. You need to exhibit your habit, yes. If you work on the good sides of a habit, you need to learn to balance that out with your children and yourself, so that you're not stressed, so you don't have any burnout at the end of the day. So you would need to exhibit the good sides of the habits towards your children and for yourself as well.
Okay, so yeah, you've talked about exhibiting habits, and but we live in a society where a lot of habits are always being exhibited. But I'm going to ask you this now: when you talk about single parenting, we know that there are some fathers too that are single fathers, maybe due to, let's be sincere, one woman absconds and leave the children for the man, and or somehow along the line they lost their wife. Yeah. But now, between the man and the woman, in generally overview of single parenting, who do you think should improve more on their habits?
It's not gender specific. I think it narrows down to the individual's needs and the circumstances surrounding the situation. So for A, it could be that he needs to work on his time. For B, it could be finances. So it depends on the individual. You can't say it's more for
female or for male. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so can we now say that spending time alone can be a satisfied way of actually exhibiting your habit? It's all about I want to.
Do we have time to spend in Lagos?
Spend time alone. You need, for sanity's sake, to spend time alone, so that you don't go crazy.
Okay.
You're dealing with work, you're dealing with Lagos traffic, you're dealing with family members, you're dealing with a lot, and then your children. So you need that time for yourself.
If I may chip in, like what duration? How long? Is it quarterly? Is it monthly?
Is it weekly?
Is it weekly?
I think weekly. We're not machines, we're human beings.
Okay.
I love that.
You need time weekly for yourself. Me time for mommy, me time for daddy. At this point in time, your children know not to disturb daddy at this time, or not to disturb mommy at this time. You take time to go to a spa, to meet up with your friends, to go shopping if that makes you feel happy.
Okay, I love that.
To journal if you need to journal. That's what you do to make yourself feel safe. To sleep, to rest because you need the rest. Children are a handful. You need time to gather all of that energy that you're giving out every day of your life. So you need that me time. So having an alone time helps you as a person, as an individual, to remain sane. Helps you to become better, to plan better. So all of these things are really necessary. I think weekly is more practical for me.
Okay, now I'll paint a very typical scenario. Over the weekend, I had a very stressful one because I had a friend that suddenly became a widow, and she's pregnant, and she has an 11-year-old child. Now we are talking about spending time. My next question is, how do these habits help their mental state? And for somebody in that shoes, what would you advise her right now to do? Because if we say, okay, have your own time, that's more like isolation. And that isolation at that point in time will affect her mental state.
Can it lead to depression?
It might lead to depression because this is sudden. She didn't, it was a twinkle of like this, and the man was gone, and we keep saying it on the show. That's why we talk about preparing yourself. Anything can happen, and when it happens is you face the reality that yes, it has happened. Now, how do those habits help their mental states?
For someone in that position who's lost a spouse, it is very important to have family and friends that she can talk to, she can speak to. Being alone for that kind of person is not totally advisable. Because she needs someone to talk to. She needs someone she can cry, shoulder to cry on. Friends she can vent to, So there should be balance with the alone time. We're not saying when you're alone to just lay on the bed and look at the ceiling and do nothing. We're saying to plan what you want to do with your life. So at that point in time, you have a journal to say, what do I expect for myself in the next 3 months? How do I make my children better in the next 3 months? How do I make my finances better in the next 3, 4, 5 months, 5 years, whatever. So for me, my advice for that lady, God rest her husband, so is to have a support system she can talk to, she can rely on, she can fall back on. At the same time, also have time for herself to do things she probably couldn't do before. Maybe go to a spa or something. Just
You know, something different.
Yeah.
Okay, so something different, do something different from every other thing you have not tried before, because you are walking into another season of your life. Another season. And that season, I tell you, if you manage it well, go and watch every of our old episodes. You will find consolation, and you'll see a support system routine that you can actually follow. Go to Galaxy Television on Facebook and also on X or our YouTube channel. It goes a long way. Now it's time for us to go for this short break. We'll be right back, so let's take a word on Marble. Don't go anywhere, stay tuned. With Zika, the communications manager of Inspire Branding and Marketing, okay, International. I will be talking about habits that can improve the well-being and the lifestyle of single parents in our society around us. Now, Zika, still so good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Now, what do you think one needs to do to make this habit, you know, well implemented, so that the children will not, you know, suffer at the end of the day, or so that it's, you know, it will not be abused where, you know, I want to go out with my girls and all that, suddenly I forgot, I'm a single mother, my children and all that, so that you not abuse this habit. You know, sometimes we get into something and before you know it, just handling your phone alone, you forget time.
Okay.
You forget time. So what do we need to do to implement it so that it will not be abused?
For any human being, married or not, we need to have discipline and respect time. So time management is number one. You should have specific. If you don't have, if you're not that kind of person that already has that discipline already, you need to build a habit to keep to time for certain things. So for instance, my children go to school at this time, their food needs to be ready at this time. You start to set goals to make sure that happens at that specific point in time. Number two is consistency. If you don't have that habit before, maybe you had a spouse who used to do this for you before, and you've lost that spouse, or you've gone through a divorce. Like she said, it's a whole new world for you. So it means you have to start from scratch. So building a habit and staying consistent with a habit so that it doesn't affect you as a person, you don't have that burnout, and it doesn't affect your children at the end of the day. So for me, the two key points take home for me will be to be consistent and have discipline so that you don't have issues at the end of the day.
Okay, so now for some reason I feel like we are just talking to those classic single ladies out there. Yeah, that's how I feel like those classic single ladies. But let's come down to the grassroots.
Okay.
Let's come down. Like I just told you of a friend that lost. She owns a kiosk, a shop where she sells.
Okay.
Let's address those class of people. Let's leave the working class single ladies that can afford to go to the shop, go to the spa, and because I discovered that a lot of the single parents, right, are actually the ones that are really, really affected, the ones that are the lower end, the ones that are petty sellers, the ones that maybe their husbands have organizers dead or left them, and maybe the police officer wife that wasn't doing anything, and suddenly the husband. I want us to address those class of people. What kind of habits do you think they can do to improve their lifestyle as single parents? Like, what kind of habits do you think that they can do in their little way to take because research has shown that a lot of them bury their trauma into church. You see them going to church not because they want to, but they just feel like
the next?
Let me just go to church.
Available.
Because I don't have any.
Because yes, so how do those class of people now, how do we address them and tell them and mention those habits that, or you suggest those habits that in their little circle, in their little space, they can do and still have that satisfaction we are talking about?
This is where family plays an important role. So you have a mother or a father or mother figure that you can talk to, who's experienced, that you can reach out to say, this is too much for me to bear. What would you advise for me to do to take care of my children at this point? Or how do I navigate my life without a spouse at this point? I'm pretty sure that whoever this person is that they reach out to, as a mother or father figure to them, will advise them on the best steps to take, possible steps to take. Again, no matter where you are and what job you do, time management is very important for everybody. You can't juggle too many things at the same time. You need to create time for business, time for children, time for the home, and time for yourself. So wherever you find yourself, you need to balance and manage your time so that it doesn't affect you and doesn't affect your children. Again, for those who in that particular group and setting, you need to have someone to talk to. You have to talk to somebody. You can't do it by yourself. Nobody is an island by themselves. We all need each other. So if it's your pastor, you can reach out to your pastor. If it's your godmother, reach out to your godmother. Tell him what the issues are, so they can give you advice.
Okay. I want to come in from the angle of talking to pastor or talking to someone in the religious setting. Of course, they will help to a particular level, and there will be another area that you cannot really come out to discuss with them.
Okay.
When it comes to your emotional feelings.
Okay.
What habits do you think all, whether the high class, the low class, the middle class, can actually imbibe or adopt to help their emotional feelings in an habit? You know, I'm sorry to say, even though it looks like it's wrong, you understand, many see wrong, many see right, but they find consolation in sitting down watching porn on their phones. It's an habit for people, because when you get to that emotional situation of their life, there is no husband, there is no wife.
You tend
And
to.
I'm like, I can't go out and start going into
illicit relationship just because you want to
relationship,
satisfy,
just because you want to satisfy
one
your
urge.
emotional urge and all that. So, what habits can one actually look forward to help? Yes, at times some of them do have a friend of the opposite sex and all that. But if you look at it, it's very rare for a single mother, a single father to have a friend who is equally single.
Okay.
Most
Very
of them fall into the hands
of married men.
married men
Okay.
or a separated man or woman. So how do one help the emotional aspect when it gets to that stage? Because we are now coming into our way of life now.
Okay.
This is how it goes. What can you advise or suggest to this set of people when they get to that stage?
I don't totally agree with you when it comes to availability of men for single mothers. I have single mothers friends who have married single men. Everything is all mental. It's all in your mind. Don't rush. Don't say because you want to get into a relationship, you get into the wrong one and you're frustrated. Work on yourself as a person first, and then take time and get into the dating pool, and find the specific man for your needs, woman, man, whatever it is. Come to think about it now, we don't do face-to-face anymore. Everything's online. You can go online and look for a partner. There are so many online dating apps now.
But many fall into the wrong hands in the process.
Well, you take your time. You will take risk, maybe physical or online. For me, I think the world is it's such a small place now. You can meet people that are not even from here. You don't have to, put all your mental, what's the word? You don't have to just limit yourself to people around you. You can expand your thoughts to people outside of your network. So that's why I say you can go outside of physical dating to online dating. And then take your time to find out and meet the person and talk to them. And if it works, it works. Life is a risk anyway. Yeah. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it
now, I'm going to digress a little bit. I read something online of a single mom that literally a man paid her so she could rape her 5-year-old daughter. And eventually the man did that act, videoed it and killed the 5-year-old daughter. Wow. Now paid the mom. That word paid, because the mom needed money. And I'm thinking in my head, what emotional state that would that woman have been to the extent of accepting cash over that act?
She has no value.
Now,
she has no value.
You're talking about her not having value, but now I want us to take up, see, a lot of things go through the minds of single parents.
I think we're excusing behavior.
No. The thing is, a lot go through the minds because you have frustration. Okay. Now, on the other hand, I'm thinking maybe she feels like, I want to punish you for what your father did to me.
Wrong.
I'm coming to that. But why do we, or should we address this habit of single parents that are fond of transferring aggression, that habit on their children?
I think,
because, sorry to interrupt, it's common with Muslim mothers.
Okay.
You see that it is the single mothers that are quick to transfer that habits in them on their children,
and they should be the one with more sensitive. Some men do it too. We have seen men who give their daughter as young as 5, 12 to a rich man in their community, all because he's a single mother.
It's obvious the woman ran and left them, because as a mother, if you want to leave the home, what's the first thing you should carry? Your children. So for every woman that leaves her children behind, it's because you've led them to their fates.
Now sometimes we don't really have to blame them. The man will not allow you, because Yoruba people will tell you, did you come to my house with any child? So you can't take my child away. So it's two ways to
But anyway, now that habit, that particular habit I want us to address, because now this thing has happened. We don't know the ones that have happened that is not on in the open. A lot of single parents, this habits. We saw one that was smoking and was giving it to her child, and we've seen a lot of it.
Okay.
Those habits, how do we address those habits?
I mean, there are so many moving parts to the question. Let me address the lady who was giving a smoke to her child. I think some of these parents are not even, people are not ready to be parents in the first place. So, and they don't have any. So you call them
mistake parents.
They don't have any, anybody they can run to for advice. They're addicted to social media and pressure. That they do anything for attention.
Yeah.
And for the other lady who transfers her aggression to her children, some of this so-called aggression is from unhealed trauma. So you're dealing with a pain you haven't addressed. So I think the first thing for that person to do is address the pain. When you address the pain, you won't have any need to want to transfer it on anyone else. Married or unmarried, we all have things that we deal with as people. And if you don't address those hurts, abandonment from parents in the past, or abandonment from partners in the past, we don't deal with those issues, we will tend to transfer it to our work colleagues or to our children. So she needs to deal with that trauma first before maybe give the children to the grandparents or something for now, then deal with managing that trauma.
Okay, so this is where I will need to finally give a word to our viewers out there who are watching, who need to understand what it means to have a way of life, a good habits that can actually be, seen, and the children will go and say, wow, I remember when I was young, my mom would stand by the mirror and tell me, do you know you're beautiful? I'm also a beautiful woman, and she speaks to herself by standing. We have this movie now, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. So I wanted to address, those single mothers, fathers out there who don't really know how to manage their routine and to find their habits, the good ones, so that it can actually spread around and the children can always look back and say, my mom, my dad, wow.
Well, if you're a single parent, it's not the end of the world for you. There's hope. You're not, a reject of society. You are beautiful, you're strong. And there is someone who would love you with your children regardless. I think that to make yourself feel even better, focus on taking care of yourself as a person, and focus on taking care of your children as well too. So some of the habits I think that you should imbibe as a person is to manage your time, to set goals for yourself and for your children, manage your finances. Don't beat yourself too much. If you accomplish something, reward yourself. You've done so well. Reward yourself and praise yourself for it. Set boundaries with your children, because sometimes mommy and daddy will need time for themselves. So mommy knows that, the children knows that mommy needs time to, relax, to recuperate. So set boundaries with your children. Tell them that at this certain time you can't reach mommy because mommy needs to do something, daddy needs to do something. Always be open to communication with your children. Have them come to you if they have any problems at all. You need to know what's happening in your children's lives. Somebody else will not help you out with that. You need to help out with them and with them and with you as well. So I think that with all of this, you'll be fine as a person.
Yeah,
with all of this, you'll be fine. Really, you make my day today. With all of this, you'll be fine. Whether you are the low class, or the high class, or the low class, you can always find your level. See, don't let me mention, I'm not doing advert for anybody, but really, whether you are low class, one day dress up, leave your shop on a Thursday when there's sanitation, walk down to all these malls, look around,
take pictures, smile.
Many of you have Android phones, so do that. We're not saying you should pretend to be what you are not. Just try to flex your life, release the muscle by the time you get to the shop, by the time you get to your kiosk, by the time you get to the market, you'll be glowing because you are laughing, you are from inside, and it radiates. You don't even need to bleach your skin before they know you are glowing. See Joy this morning. Joy is glowing this morning. I don't know. Wow. Please message me. Give me feedback. Tell me whether she's glowing, because a dark skin, brown skin girl, like Weezy said, it's making fresh and lighter.
It's the cool weather.
Yes, now it's cool weather. So she's looking at
it's the cool weather. Anyway, thank you for that compliment. I'll take it from you, from my partner in crime. I'll take it from you. Thank you very much, our guest, for doing justice to our topic. We really appreciate it. Yes, just like the guest and Lori has said, sometimes it's important we have personal times. It took me a while to realize that I needed to disentangle myself from my kids. They were so attached to me that if you invite me for, even if your house is the next door, it's like I'll carry. And then one day I said, no, I'm not even helping them. I need to break that. So because I became, it was that bad that for 10 years I didn't travel.
Wow.
You can't invite me for an occasion that involves traveling and I travel, because I felt like I needed them. So at the point I realized that, no, Joy, you need to start breaking. You need to sometimes just leave. They'll be fine. You come back, they'll be fine.
Yeah,
so that's what we are saying. They will always be fine. Don't use the kids as an excuse to hide behind your traumatic experience or whatever it is you're going through. always find that self-care. You know, it's not necessarily the spa. See, when we talk about the spa, we are not saying go and spend money. Go to where you paint your nails. Well, sit down there, gist, laugh, finish. 200, you've painted your nails, you've changed your nails,
the men
polish,
have
you've done, you know, just do something, you know, sit around. That's what we are trying to say. All we are looking out for is your mental state of health, to be in good health, because when you're in good health and in good mental state, you can actually raise those children right. My name is Joy Abu. Thank you very much for being a part of Family and Values. I always say Tuesday with a difference, you see. It actually came with a difference. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, so what we're planning to see, we'll be planning to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be another bumper time with us. Hey, youth, where you did? Okay, so tomorrow we're discussing how to build a seasoned and perfect home. How to build a seasoned and perfect home, whether you're married, you're single, you're young, come and sit down and learn. Let's learn from those who have experienced it. Let's hear what they've got to say, and we can tap on or two things to build us as we are, you know, preparing to go into marriage while we're still in courtship with that lady or that man. It will help you. On that note, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has made today's program episode a success. Thank you to the Almighty God who has given us today, and I want to believe today you still have a lot coming your way, my way, and you won't miss it. I tell you, be intentional about it so you won't miss it. Thank you so much. My name is Remain Olori Adejoke Adebi David. You can always follow us on all our social media platforms. Please, let's get your feedback. Send your questions to the number on your screen or on our social media pages, and we'll surely get back to you. I want to wish you the very best of today. We love you. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.